Hey guys, this is Dan with Gears and Gadgets. Thanks for tuning in. So a lot of you guys are here because of my 2018 Harley-Davidson Heritage 114, which I do a ton of content on Harley-Davidson stuff. But this channel actually started with a whole lot of truck stuff. I did quite a bit of reviews on this truck, and one of those was this roll and lock tonneau cover. This thing is awesome. I love it. But because that video did so well, Leer actually reached out to me, and some of you might know them as the company that does the truck caps, so the toppers on the beds here. But they reached out to me and said, hey, we have these new tonneau covers coming out. Would you like to do a review? I said, sure. So what I'm going to do in this video is do a bit of a comparison between a $2,400 tonneau cover and a $1,000 tonneau cover. Those are about what the prices are right now. I will go ahead and link in the description down below to Leer's product page, and you can find the appropriate tonneau cover for your truck. So again, this is just going to be a video where I pull this one off, put the Leer on, and see really what the difference is. So let's go ahead and pull this one off. Again, no problems with this thing. It's been on here for, oh, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years probably, and it's holding up really well. Here you can see I have a car seat, a helipad for drone. I was out doing some drone stuff yesterday. This is what I'm keeping secure right now in my bed. Let's go ahead and pull this thing off and take a look here at what Leer has. Now before I forget, one of the downfalls to a cover like this, I lose 8 inches, so 14.5 by 8 is what this takes up. You know, over a foot lost out of the bed is a pretty big deal when you're talking about, well, maybe putting the bike or something in the back. So as awesome as this bed cover is, you do lose some usable space. So that is a consideration. I am going to get to installing the Leer. This thing is taped up real nice. Okay, looks like we have some instructions. 9 steps, that's what I like to see. Installation hardware, looks like some rails. Toss those up in the bed. We'll actually wait to take the cover out of the packaging after I get the rails on here. So I'll take a look at the hardware here. Here's weather seal stuff. I'm going to take this thing through the car wash later just to test and see how well it holds up. Now, interesting with these things is that you really can only put them on one way. So you have this prop rod little nub here. And if you look at it, this is going to sit up on top of the little channel here on top of the bed rail. As I said, you can only really do this one way. These 2 rails just slide together. You just lock them down with the provided Allens. And we'll also add the little foam stop they have here. This just goes up against the bulkhead. We'll take one of our clamps. Now that's nice. I gotta show you guys this. Show you on the next clamp after I get this one cinched down a little bit. Just tighten that one down so it doesn't fall, but all right, let me give you guys a close-up. These clamps actually fit in here really quite nice. What you have is this little channel. It just pops up in here. You got to wrestle with them a little bit, but it actually pops in here and it gives you a really flush mount, which is very nice. Now on the GM trucks, they have a separate mounting bracket for the rear. Now this one is actually going to have to come totally apart, and you'll see. So what you have on these GMs is this bed pocket, and you just have to feed that little bracket back there. And then screw it all in. This is a bit of a don't drop it game to play. but not difficult. Now that all of our brackets are on, side rails are on, let's go ahead and put the cover on. So what you have is these little clamps. They slide into this channel and then into that little opening there. And we'll tighten it down just loosely for the time being. And I'll also put this little rubber foot back on. I'm going to leave that on for the sake of not scratching anything in the back of the truck. Now we'll take the prop rods. There is a rhyme or reason to this. There is an unlock on one side and not the other. So you want to make sure that your unlock is at the bottom. Now I was going to say that these should have had gas struts because it'd be nicer, but now I get it. This is actually intended to be able to stay in the upright position. If you had something large in here, makes sense now. I get it. Now this is a safety tether, just to make sure if anything were to go horribly awry on the highway, the cover ain't going anywhere. Well, I'm gonna have to reach out to Leer because these little clips on the bottom just broke, and out of honesty, that's kind of a bummer. That is for the supports here, so those are going to be kind of hanging off to the side here for the time being. Kind of a bummer. I didn't realize both of these broke, so be careful when installing. These clips apparently are fragile. It's good to know. So what you want to do with these covers is get them all adjusted first. So basically just kind of situate it on top of the bed and the rails prior to tightening down the nuts up at the bulkhead, just to be sure that everything's aligned right. So go ahead and do that now. So now, just climb in here. So now that we have everything aligned appropriately, go ahead and tighten this down. Now one thing to know when you're doing this weather seal, as I'm tightening this down, I am actually tucking this in so that it sits appropriately. If you don't do that, I can all but assure you that it would leak. I could see that being missed by some people. So I'll tighten this down, and you should see it starts to kind of pull down a bit. Okay, whew. So that is the Leer, what is it, HF650M tonneau cover installed. And let's go ahead and open this thing up. That is super secure. Here we are heading into the car wash, and we will see how much water gets into this tonneau cover. I'm pretty proud of my lighting setup for this test, so let's get to it. So here we are the next day. I actually edited this video last night and watched the footage from the car wash and found out that where the water was coming in, the majority of it actually was coming in right through these stake pockets here. That is where you can see here, there is just a direct path into the bed. And then also some water did come in from the bulkhead up here. And I presume, which the instructions don't show, but there is this gasket here that I could put up along here and seal it up a little bit better, but I'm not gonna worry about it because I'm really just not that worried about the water getting in. Everything I have in the back of the bed for the most part is stored in those totes, as you saw earlier, and I'm just not that worried about it. Now, so the old tonneau cover videos that I've done, people say like, oh, water gets in there and that's no good. It's a pickup truck, and if you really need something to be that watertight, buy a Tahoe, buy a Suburban. Really, I don't understand what people are all balking about when it comes to water tightness with tonneau covers. This, in my opinion, passes with beyond flying colors. If you were to seal up these stake pockets, you could get it even better. But again, I'm just not that worried about it. Anything I put in the back of the bed isn't all that water sensitive. And if it is, it's probably in a case of some sort anyways that's waterproof. And then the other thing too is that the tailgate is just a huge spot where water can come in. Just inherently when you're talking about a car wash, that pressure is 1,000,000 times more than what rainfall would be. So for just rain falling out of the sky, I anticipate this bed to stay completely bone dry, even in a downpour. So I'm totally happy with that. Now, I was also going through this morning and cleaning up, tearing the box down, and I stumbled across these bolts. And I thought, what are those for? Now, I am no better than anybody else. A lot of times I just kind of skip a lot of steps that are on the instructions, and one of those steps was these bolts. So let me show you guys what those are for. Now, to get a little closer of the operation of this cover, I'll show you guys. These latches are super nice. These are also the clips that I put on here because of the factory little clips here that these prop rods are supposed to latch onto were broken. I actually kind of like this solution better to clip them up at the spare location here, which I'll show you closer up. You can see there is a safety tether latch here, and then I just use this little carabiner $3 keychain I bought from Home Depot, and I just put it around the prop rod, and I just clip it onto there, and it stays where it needs to. So that is good. Now, the step that I missed yesterday in the instructions is these bolts that actually come into the bottom here. It was funny because when I saw the packaging yesterday, I thought, those must just be extra for this location here, but they actually aren't. So what I anticipate is if I loosen this one and then drive this one home, then I might actually pull the rail down a little bit tighter, which for water infiltration will be better. But as you saw in the video, I didn't really have a problem with it anyways. So I almost toyed with the idea of not even putting these on when I caught it this morning. I'm just going to drive these in with an impact. I don't recommend this. It's nice to do it all by hand. So, and then we'll tighten this one. I don't really know what the difference is with that for the bottom, but I'll put them on there. I mean, the instructions say to, so why not? So there you have the LEER HF650M that is on the truck, and the question you might have then is which one am I going to keep? Because the beauty of doing this YouTube thing is that you have options, and I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. There was a part of me that thought, Lear's going to send me this one out, and I'll put it on the truck, I'll test it for a while, but the electric one is just so cool that maybe I'll just swap that one back over. But that is not my intention. I am actually going to leave this Leer on, and the main reason is because it is so easy to take this thing off. These two little bolts here basically, and you could pull that thing off in 2 seconds, and you get a foot back of your bed. And I kind of like that for now, and I'm gonna leave it. Now I mentioned that loading the bike in there would be the reason why, and there's a part of me that does want to take some more ambitious trips. However, for this channel, a lot of people that watch motorcycle content think, oh, hop on the bike and go for these incredible adventures, put it on YouTube. And that's all fine and dandy for somebody who has the ability to take that kind of time to do it. For me, I am very time crunched, and a lot of times these trips on the bike just take longer. You have to kind of account for some more unknowns. And the last time I did a real long trip to Texas, I kind of dangerously rode into some weather because I had zero time to spare and I just had to ride into it. And I don't want to do that type of stuff anymore. So I would like to take some longer trips, and to put the bike in the back of the truck and be able to do it, to be able to just chunk off longer days in the truck is way easier, obviously, to get to where I need to go and potentially still have my bike with me. So still need to buy some ramps for that. I haven't really gotten that far. So it really is a matter of what you want to use your truck for. Again, for me, just the utility. I'm a big utility guy, and this cover, in my opinion, fits utility more so than cool gadget that works really well. But I don't know, I kind of like this one for now. So that is my review of the LEER HF650M Tonneau cover. And by the way, you can run with these prop rods up. I didn't do a test with it because no doubt in my mind it works just fine. I just didn't really see the need to do that test specifically. So just close her up, and that is the end of the video. So guys, as always, thank you very much for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, please remember to hit that subscribe button down below. Remember, likes go a long way to help support the channel. See you guys next time.